The trading, the speculation, the potential for manipulation.
That's exactly what we want to uncover in this deep dive.
We want to peel back the layers and understand what's really going on in this honey exchange.
What are they so worried about? Why is the global honey supply seemingly dropping? And what does it all mean for us, the people who actually eat the honey?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Right.
So to start, maybe we can clarify what exactly happens at a honey exchange.
Yeah, good point.
Is it just about setting prices, or is there more to it than that?
Because, a lot of people probably think of Wall Street when they hear exchange.
Right, stocks and bonds.
Yeah, but this is honey we're talking about. So how does it work?
So basically, a commodity exchange like this one, it acts like a big marketplace.
Okay.
But instead of actual honey, they're trading contracts for future delivery of honey.
Ah, so it's more about promises than actual jars of honey.
Exactly. It's like betting on what the price of honey will be in the future.
Makes sense.
And those screens we talked about earlier, they're showing all those bets in real time.
Wow, so it's all about predicting the future of honey.
In a way, yeah.
Fascinating.
It is.
So Furry and the Great Bear, they're getting this tour of the exchange, and they end up in this soundproof room.
Overlooking the trading floor.
Talk about a view.
Right. Must have been quite a sight.
And then lunch is served?
Oh, yeah. Honey-themed, of course.
Of course. Furry mentions they had ambrosia.
Ambrosia?
Yeah, some kind of honey dish.
Interesting.
And then pasta with buttermilk, honey wheat bread, and to top it all off,
It's heard.
chocolate almond cheesecake with honey jelly.
Wow. They really went all out.
They did. All Chilean honey, apparently.
Fancy.
So anyway, during this fancy honey lunch, the Great Bear, he doesn't waste any time.
He gets straight to business.
He does. He asks point blank about the state of the honey market.
And what does Barnalous say? He's the operations manager, right?
Right, Barnalous. He says the markets are incredibly volatile.
Oh, boy.
And that there's been a steady fall in the world's honey supply for a while now.
Uh-oh, that doesn't sound good.
Not good at all. And he specifically mentions a marked stock decline in India.
India?
Yeah, apparently they're a big honey producer.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and if their supply is down, it affects everyone.
Makes sense. So less honey means higher prices.
Right. And Barnalous, he even asks Furry if he's happy about the rising prices.
I bet Furry had a good answer for that.
He did. He says, sure, higher prices might be good for some folks, but what about the hungry bears?
The hungry bears. I love that.
Right. It brings it back down to earth.
It does.
It's not just about money, it's about survival.
Exactly. For bears and for people, too.
And Barnalous's response is interesting. He kind of shrugs it off.
Really?
Yeah, he's like, well, it's nothing to do with us. We just track these things.
So he's just a detached observer.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But Furry, he's not letting him off the hook so easily.
What does he say?
He's like, but how can global honey stocks be decreasing if reported production figures are still high?
Good question.
Right. And Barnalous, he admits it's a puzzle.
So even the experts are stumped.
They are. But there's this theory going around the exchange.
A theory about what?
About someone or something stockpiling honey.
Stockpiling honey.
Like on a massive scale.
Wow, like some kind of honey hoarder.
Exactly. Huge warehouses full of honey just sitting there.
But why would anyone do that?
That's the million-dollar question. Barnalous doesn't know for sure, but he says the theory is persistent.
So people are taking it seriously.
They are. It's like a conspiracy theory, but for honey.
The honey conspiracy.
I know, right? It's wild. And Barnalous, he even says if someone is doing this, they're doing it very skillfully and subtly.
Like a honey mastermind.
Exactly. It's almost like he admires them.
Which is strange considering this could be, a global crisis.
Right. It's like he's more impressed by the skill than worried about the consequences.
That's a bit unsettling.
It is. It makes you wonder about the priorities of these traders.
Are they really looking out for the best interests of everyone or just themselves?
Right. So the Great Bear, he asks the obvious question, can't the exchange investigate this honey hoarding?
And what do they say?
They say they tried, but the IBC, the International Bear Council.
Big guys.
Yeah, they weren't interested. Apparently, there was this meeting where Furry and the Great Bear couldn't make it.
Oh.
And at this meeting, the IBC basically laughed off the whole thing.
They did?
They did. This guy, Sven Whitefur, he apparently almost choked on his vinegar, laughing so hard.
Wow, that's just irresponsible.
Right. It's like they don't take it seriously at all.
And the Great Bear, he's obviously frustrated.
Yeah, he's like, I wish I'd been at that meeting.
I bet.
So as Furry and the Great Bear are about to leave Barnalous, he makes this weird offer.
What kind of offer?
He asks Furry if he'll give some after-hours master classes.
Master classes about what?
About honey production. For the traders.
For the traders.
Yeah.
But they're the ones trading honey. Shouldn't they already know how it's made?
You'd think so, right? But apparently not. Furry even mentions that some of the younger business bears, they lack basic knowledge.
So they're trading this precious commodity without even understanding where it comes from.
Exactly. It's crazy. And then comes the kicker. As they're leaving the exchange, stepping back into the daylight, the great bear, he turns to Furry and says in this really serious tone.
What does he say?
He says, I think we're in the middle of a full-scale world honey sting.
A world honey sting.
How chilling, right?
It's ominous.
It is. And it makes you think, what is this sting? Who's behind it? And what does it mean for the future of honey?
Big questions indeed.
Huge questions. So to recap, we've got this secret underground honey exchange.
Right. Hidden away from prying eyes.
They're reporting a massive drop in global honey supply.
And nobody knows why for sure.
Prices are soaring.
Which might be good for some, but bad for others.
Especially those hungry bears.
Right, the ones who depend on honey for survival.
There's this theory about honey hoarding.
Massive stockpiles of honey hidden away.
But nobody can prove it.
And the bigwigs, they don't seem to care.
They're dismissing it all as just normal market fluctuations.
Which seems pretty naive considering the scale of this situation.
And to top it all off, there's this talk of a world honey sting.
A deliberate manipulation of the market.
Potentially with far-reaching consequences.
It's like a thriller unfolding right before our eyes.
It is. And it makes you wonder what other secrets are lurking in our global food supply chains.
What other commodities are being manipulated or hoarded?
What other stings are in progress?
Because if it can happen with honey, it can happen with anything.
Exactly. So keep those tips coming, folks, and we'll keep digging deeper to uncover the truth.
Stay tuned.